Welcome to SethCraft. In this video, I am building some sawhorses that are strong, inexpensive, and also collapsible so they can be stored in a very small profile. It also has a double top plate so you can cut through the top, and then if it gets bad enough, you just pull that one off and put a new one on there. So if you're in need of some DIY sawhorses, then continue watching. The numbers that I'm going to give you here are to build one of the sawhorses. You would double these, of course, because you're going to have a pair of them. All right, I've got two 8-foot 2x4s. What I'm going to do first is mark out 31 inches and then another 31 inches. And what's left is going to be 34 inches out of that board. Do the exact same on the next board. 31 inch right here. 31 inch again up here. And what's left is 34 inch. All right, I'm going to cut off the 34 inch here. Next, I'm cutting at the 31 inch. Repeat those cuts on the next board. Now I'm going to set my saw to the 45-degree setting over here. That locks down just like that. And let me show you what we're going to do with this. All four of the 31-inch legs are going to have the same cuts applied to them. So let me find one that looks pretty for us. All right, this one right here ought to do it. The first thing I'm going to do is take my square, put it on the end of this board, and I want to mark at 3/8. So we got 1, 2, 3/8. So this whole corner right here is going to be removed, and it's just going to take off that little bit right there. All right, so I'm going to move my piece of wood back and line this up so that the saw takes off just that small bit of the corner. Now the reason for shaving off this edge is so your hinge has something to fit into. My hinge doesn't really need that much space, so I could have gone a lot less thick there, but anyhow, that's why you trim that off so your hinge has space to fit in between the two pieces. Now that I have the hinge notch cut out on all four of these, I'm going to set my saw to 15 degrees, and that is going to put the angle for both the top and the bottom of the leg, and it's going to cut from this point right here to wherever it matches up with over here. So basically going to remove all of that, and then I'll turn it around, and it's also going to remove the same triangle there. So let's step over to the saw and cut this first one out. Set this saw to 15 degrees right there. All right, and now I can put the leg that we were just working on right here. And so basically from this point right here on back is where we're going to cut. Now if you're anything like me, the angles get confusing when you start flipping the board around on the saw. So the smaller, sharper 45-degree edge up here is going to be towards the middle of the sawhorses. And this right here needs to be the flat part where the top goes. So what I need to cut down here is basically in this direction right here. So sometimes I like to just put my board back on the workbench so I can kind of get the correct angle to cut off there. Otherwise, if I go flipping around on the saw, I'm going to cut it wrong. Keeping the saw at 15 degrees from this top cut, I'm now going to cut this bottom one here. And since I marked it needs to be cut in that direction, it makes it easy to line up here. I want to match up the front corner and then cut towards the back. Now, whenever the legs of the sawhorse are folded out, it will rest at that 15 degrees there and will work out really good. All right, let me make those same cuts on all the other legs and we will be ready for the next step. Now that I have all the angles cut here, it's time to get the hinges installed. This is the notch for the hinge, so I'm going to set this here, and I'm going to let this piece fall and match these up towards the center. All right, hold on to that. Use my pin. There we go. And now I can pre-drill this. I've just got a drill bit that's small enough that it's going to be able to work well with those hinge included screws. You don't have to pre-drill, but I rather enjoy doing that. Helps keep things from cracking. All right, this next part can be a little tricky. You've got to be able to get these lined up in here, but you'll see it won't reach right there. So what you have to do is kind of turn both of these up on their side here like this, and then you've got to find a way to get this matched up this way. All right, so I can get these here, and I want to just find a place where they're both equal on that hinge, making a flat surface up here. Circles drawn. Get these pre-drilled again. Now, like I said, this part is a little tricky, having to hold this and put the screws in at the same time. All right, there we go. Got that one. Okay, I'm a little off, as always. Let me redo that. All right, I now have the legs assembled here, and that's what they're going to look like. So it's got a flat piece up top, and then they have that angled piece that allows it to be flat on the ground. So in order to keep the legs from going too far out, I have got this chain, which my local hardware store had for like, I don't know, 30 cents a foot. So I think it's rated at, it was a lot, like 60, 70 pounds. So what I want to do is cut this down to a foot. And so just using the tape measure, find out where a foot is. Let's see, cut this one right here. To cut this, I'm just using a pair of these wire snips, and it's not very effective, but I'm just kind of doing a squeeze, move it around to the other side, and do another one. There we go. Ah, good enough. All right, so there's a foot, and this is going to go on towards the bottom of this board. Let's do this side. So I have found that up at about the 10-inch mark from the bottom of the leg is about where this needs to go. So there. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to pre-drill into this. To get the chain attached, I've got these 1.5" Torx screws, which I'm just going to use the impact driver here to get that installed. I want to make sure that's facing in the right direction. Okay, I'll go over to the other side and do the same. Now with the legs done, I'm going to take the first of the 34-inch boards and place that over the top. Now I want there to be only 1 inch of overhang from this top board here. So I'll move this over until that right there makes a connection with my square. And now I want to pre-drill into one side. Let's just choose this side that's closest to the camera here. I've got a 3-inch screw. I'm going to put one of these in here. Now before I put the other one in, I want to make sure that I've got these lined up flush here. You get the other one done. Just move over a little bit. And now I can move over to the other side and do the same, where I measure out to make sure it's only got 1 inch of overhang. Alright, there's the basics. Now the other 34-inch board is designed to go onto the top so that you can cut through this one, and as it gets worn down, you can take this one off and put a new one on if need be. So to do that, I've got some 2.5-inch screws, and just like before, I'm going to pre-drill up under here and kind of go a bit at an angle. Let's see here, what's the best way to do that? And that is just going to let me attach these screws into here. Alright, with that other top plate on there, you could technically stop here if you wanted to. But the legs are like a little wobbly, and so I'm going to be adding one more thing here that will not only prevent the legs from being wobbly, but also make them work together so that you don't have one that's half out and one that's not. So, alright, to do that, I have a piece of plywood, 3/4 inch plywood. I'm going to be cutting this down to make strips that go across the edge here. So that's our last step in this build. I need 2 strips that are 2 inches wide and 31.5 inches long. So let me mark out here 31.5 inches, and then I need to do 2 rows of 2 inch here. So just using my square, I can run my pin along and get that. Alright, there's my first one. It's just a guide so I know where to cut. And then let me get the 4-inch one here. Very good. Alright, I'm going to use a skill saw to cut that out. I'm going to measure 5 inches up from the bottom, and that's going to be the underside of this new support. Do that on both sides here. Once again, do a little pre-drill. I have some 2-inch screws I'm going to use to attach this here. Okay, I'm going to flip it over and do the same. Alright, it's time to see how we did on that one. I feel like my initial or first one was a little bit better. Yeah, that one wants to tip over some. I may have to trim one of the legs a little bit to make sure it is equal across both sides there. Whoa, ouch. But as far as functionality goes, that ought to do it right there. Here is the on-camera build that we just made, and it works. It's got a little bit of a mismatched leg right here, but good enough. Now the one that I built off camera had much better 2x4s. As you can see, these were quite knotty and old, and I probably could have used newer ones, but all right, I like it. So as you can see up here, that 15-degree cut matches up right there. Has the same one down here that allows this to sit flat. If we move over here, that one's got a tiny gap in there, but definitely going to be able to support quite fine. Let's see, the chain here I find does a really good job. It's very strong, so should not be breaking. And having this cross piece down here at 5 inches, you shouldn't kick that, which is good. And it also gives support so the legs stay together and don't go moving around. So one nice thing is you can, with one hand, fold this back up like that, and then If you have this on the ground, you can just basically pull one side out and get it back up, no problem. So here's what I was trying to say. You can swing that up like that and then just swing it back out. There you go. And as far as durability goes, this 2x4s should have no problem whatsoever. And there we go. That's how I build this DIY inexpensive foldable with removable top plate set of sawhorses. I was looking at the cost here. You've got a total of 4 8-foot 2x4s, 2 packages of hinges, some screws, a chain, and then you could use a 1x material and not even have to cut plywood, and you would be able to get this whole thing for, let's say, about $25, maybe $30 depending on where you buy it. So, and that's for both of these. So very much affordable and pretty easy to build. If you're not filming like I just was, you can build one of these in about 30 minutes and it should last for a very long time. All right, well, stay tuned to the SethCraft channel because I have something very exciting coming up next. I have got a 20x30 workshop that I am building, and that's one of the reasons I had to get these sawhorses out so quick, is because it's time to start building on that. So be sure to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button, notification bell, and leave me a comment down below. I'm Seth with the SethCraft Workshop, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.